I think you guys are going to find a lot of value out of this. And but yeah, just my goal here, my outcome that I'm hoping, like with the presentation I'm going to go over here, is that it adds value to and kind of expands what health is, because it's more than weight loss. It's more than just exercise. There's a lot of components to it. So I hope that I inspire you, give you some inspiration to make some healthier choices and create health, but really define for yourself what health is. Because if you're unsure and you're just saying you want to be healthy, like there's a lot more. It's always a lot deeper. So it's always a lot deeper. That always requires lots of questions. I want to give you clarity and some things to think about too that we're going to go over today. Um, all right, let me dive in here. So I hope this is working because I am actually on this Zoom and I hope it is up and working on Facebook like it is supposed to. And I think I started a few minutes early as well. Oh, hang on. Give me 1 second. I'm on the wrong page here. All right. Let me put this on present and we're going to have some fun. Um, All right, so what is health? So being clear on a healthy lifestyle. So again, like my whole purpose of this is to just give you some important things to think about so you can start to define and start to put your focused energy, because I'm yet to meet a person who doesn't want to be healthy. Everybody wants to be healthy. But to really be able to define it and just understand it and understand, like there's a lot of things that go into what health is. Like a lot of times, like what happens is when people are really hit with it for the first time is like they run into a situation where they get an injury or they have some health risk. Like an instance, like somebody going in and being like pre-diabetic, like, hey, wake up call, it's time to do something. And a lot of times, like we feel invincible, we don't worry about it, we're not proactive because it's like something we've never had to worry about till we're faced with it. And then we have to make a decision. And in that instance, a lot of times there's going to be a lot of work that has to be done to undo things of the past actions that have got you to the point where you're at. Um, so again, like I hope that this inspires you to be proactive with taking care of your health, but just expanding upon what health is and just different areas, because they all affect each other and they all will help you to be healthy in different ways. And they all compile to create health, which is awesome. Um, all right, the concept of health. The concept of health encompasses more than just the absence of disease. And so I'm not going to sit here and read all these. Like I kind of get bored when I'm doing that in a presentation, but it's going to be your physical, your mental, and then your social well-being. And it expands a lot more than this, but it's like as far as physical health, I would probably throw in some nutrition because nutrition is going to be key, and we'll be going over all these things as I go through this. Your mental, and then your social well-being, because our connection with other human beings is important as well. And all these things affect each other in the way that we react and the way that we respond to all of them. So lifestyle perspective, overall lifestyle choices are fundamental to promoting health, well-being, and longevity. By prioritizing healthy habits and behaviors, individuals can enhance their physical health, mental well-being, and just overall quality of life. And that's the goal. I mean, the overall is to add quality of life. I work generally, in most cases, I'm working with people who are 40 and older. I do have some younger people that do participate in my programs as well from time to time. But a lot of times, like as we're getting older, like when we're, for example, like in the 40s, like we're not as worried. Most times there's not as many health risks. 50s, like as we're getting older, like things are changing. We're kind of deteriorating as human beings. And the way to overcome that is being proactive, like with our health and the choices that we make. So 50s, we start to kind of generally start, and this is what I sense like from all the conversations I have. 50, we're starting to feel a lot more, we're starting to feel more or less of our vitality. And in 60s, it kind of like even 70s. I've worked with quite a few people in their 70s. And it's like that's where it's like just being proactive and making exercise, resistance training, nutritious eating, they all come in. but there's different phases. And it's like, as we do age and we get older, it's like, what quality of life do we want to have? Let's just say, for example, we got 20 years to live, for example. Like, how do you want to live those remaining 20 years? So a lot of times people don't want to exercise because it's uncomfortable, it doesn't feel good. But then again, it's like if we're making unhealthy choices and we're miserable and unhealthy because of the way we feel, a lot of times we don't like the way that we look and we're just not happy. It's like that's kind of not a great way to exist. So being a little uncomfortable for like 30, 60 minutes a day versus being uncomfortable all the time, just certain things to think about. But it's like, what type of vitality do you want to have, like, as you kind of move forward? And it starts wherever you're at, no matter what, like, if you're watching this, it starts now, like, it starts because all the choices you make are going to determine where you're going to be in the future. And the only things that you can do are the things right now. So that's the being proactive because the things in the past, they got you to the point where you're at, but they don't matter anymore. They're done. So the actions you take now are the things that are going to matter. Um, okay. So, importance of key lifestyle choices. So number one is going to be exercise. In my opinion, and I don't find too many people that I think that would argue with me here, I think exercise is the most important. So, as we age, generally at the age of 26, we start losing muscle tissue. Muscle tissue is a major part of our health and strength and everything else in the way that we function. So exercise and resistance training is a major part of that. So exercise, a lot of times, unfortunately, and I'll say unfortunately here, when people think of exercise, they think of weight loss. Like that exercise should never be put in the same category as losing weight. Exercise is way more important than that. And it's a losing battle if you're sitting thinking like I gotta exercise because I gotta lose weight. Like you're never gonna be motivated, you're never gonna stick with it, never be consistent with it. Um, but as far as exercise, like increase in exercise is energy. That's kind of how I would like to describe it. And because I want to check if my assistant's checking in on me here. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it looks like we are all good. Um, but anyway, exercise is energy. Energy is the key to feeling good, and exercise increases energy. I've got somebody that I was working with this morning, and it's like we've been getting her to be more consistent with the exercise, and she's got a condition that is it's a little bit lot tougher than what other people have to deal with, but it's like we got to go really slow, but really just getting her moving, and a lot of times, like she can be uncomfortable and in pain, but when we get her moving, she starts to feel better. So, like today, as we're talking, it's like exercise is energy. Like you're getting your energy going. A lot of times, like when you feel good, you're not in as much pain. So it's like I always look at life, and this is the most important factor, is increase in the energy. Like, how can I increase energy? And a lot of the things that I'm going to be talking about, that's what it's all about. Every little bit that you can increase your energy, you feel better, you feel healthier, you feel happier, you feel more energetic, you feel have more vitality. And it's like, so whatever ways you can come up to increase it, and in my opinion, in healthy ways. So it's like generally, yeah, I always stick healthy lifestyle. So it's like there's other ways. And anyway, we're not going to get into those today. Um, cultivates a positive mindset. I just literally had a call right before this with one of my clients. I do Zoom calls and do meetings with people. And she was just saying mindset wise, she's feeling a lot better. She started 8 weeks ago. So I've heard this a lot. I've had a lot of clients who have anxiety. One of my first clients when I started this particular business, like she had anxiety, and then she wasn't didn't have to take her pills. Like after she started exercising, she said she's been taking them for years. And like I never tell anybody not to take pills. That's doctors. That's for the doctor. But and I didn't even know. Like she was just telling me like, yeah, I haven't had to take my anxiety pills. But that's always go through the doctor. You always want to chat with the doctor. And she did not, but you do. I always refer people through the doctor, but reducing stress, improving self-esteem, and enhancing cognitive function. Exercise makes you smarter. Who doesn't want to be smarter? Who doesn't want to have a higher self-esteem? And that's the thing, like energy's higher. You feel better, you got better, more self-esteem. Have a bad day, you feel bad, like stressful things. And this is what exercise is for. Like train yourself where it's like, I'm tired, I should exercise. I'm not feeling good. I should exercise because exercise helps pick us up and increase energy, which usually helps with a lot of things. And then on the other end of that, if you're a person who does train a lot, sometimes rest is important too, which we'll talk about here as well. But anyway, increase longevity and higher quality of life. So that's I've already kind of chatted about that, but that's one of the things like increase the quality of your life. Like exercise is going to make you feel good. So helps you build muscle, helps you be more mobile. Um, this one is a major one. I don't have the book in here. It's called Sleep Smarter. But there's a great book. But sleep is one of the most, it's one of the low-hanging fruit that we can all control to really move everything forward. It's one of the things I think science-wise, they're like you're starting to hear lots and lots more about sleep and the importance of sleep. Again, like getting more sleep, you're going to have more energy, you're going to think more clear. So it's essential for physical and mental functioning. So your body performs at high levels. Like if you talk to high level athletes, um, and I didn't read the article, but somebody was talking about LeBron James taking 3 naps per day, making sure. So sometimes he's like with all the exercise and working out, and at his age where he's at now, it's like it's just essential. It's like it's where our body changes. So it allows your body to repair and rejuvenate itself. It supports the cognitive function, your ability to think. And if you notice, like if you're not getting a lot of sleep and you're kind of always feeling down, like how do you feel when you get a good night's sleep? And I know a lot of times like people have sleep challenges, but that's another thing. Like I've had great conversations. I have these conversations all the time, but the person I was speaking about before, she was talking about how she's sleeping a lot better and not having to take the pills that help her sleep. And that's probably one of the most common things I've heard over the years when people get consistent with exercise is better sleep. And again, that's how they all work with each other. They all compile to help you to create health. Yeah, see, I had a little glitch there in my thing. We say we got that one twice there. Important. Supports cognitive function, enhances mood regulation. So you find yourself in a bad mood, you're not getting any sleep, maybe get some more sleep, you know? So just things to think about. Stress management. Minimize and eliminates detrimental effects of both physical and mental health. Um, so, and that's going to be with the exercise, of course. And then working, I mean, whatever, like when it comes to stress, like what's causing, these are the things to figure out for yourself, like what's causing the stress. And a lot of times like finding a professional, a therapist or somebody that can really help walk you through, because a lot of times like we don't know what we don't know. Like what are the things, there's professionals and people out there that can help us and guide us through helping us to figure things out. So and from what we're talking about here, to be healthy. But like if you do deal with like mental things like that, like I mean, find help because it is important. Um, Helps individuals stay focused, alert, and more productive, and contributes to better overall quality of life. So, and learning how to manage, and stress is a big one. I mean, we're all busy. We all got lots of things. I'll use myself as an example on this one. I just had a major thing come in for the studio that I'm looking to open, where the build out cost came up 3 times higher, way more than what I can afford. So it's like this week has been a major stress. I had a day of just hectic. I didn't sleep the night I found it out. And it was just like all that stress. It's like, but I've learned ways to manage it. I manage it with meditation. Meditation's been a big one for me to slow down. I use journaling, exercise. And the one day I was feeling that stress, I did not exercise. So that, and it was in my mind, but I was like, I got a solution. I got to come up with solutions. So I was like sitting in front of this computer, searching solutions, making my stress higher. Now, I didn't sleep great that next night, but if I would have, like, this is me, so I can't say that this is for everybody, but if I would have exercised, it would have taken that edge. It was so edgy that day. And that's what I use exercise for. And usually, like, it was in my mind, but I still made the choice not to do it, which I should not have. But that's the thing where it's like, I know I've learned in my own life to take the stress away with exercise. And I've got lots of stories about people doing the same thing that I've worked with over the years. But it's realizing the importance and how to use exercise as a tool. It's a tool that we use to make our lives better. It's not for weight loss. I feel like this is what everybody focuses on it with, but it's not for weight loss. It's a tool to make our lives better, healthier, more vibrant. It might be a little uncomfortable, and it's supposed to be a little bit uncomfortable. Not very uncomfortable. If it's very uncomfortable, you're working too hard. So it's like you want to find that right balance. I recently had somebody who seemed like he was on his fourth week. He was really fatigued. So, and we started off working out hard because he really likes to push. But as a workout, I started noticing he's teetering out. So I was like, okay, let's take an edge off. Take the edge off. And by the end of the workout, you could see he was feeling good. You learn to monitor the intensity in the right type of way, or work out at the right intensity, you're going to feel better. Okay. All right. Work life balance. I mean, this one's a challenge for me. I mean, I definitely work a lot. I've got 3 young kids. So finding that right work-life balance is important. And then like when it comes to exercise and those type of things, a lot of times like we need to add more exercise activity in, and it can go either way, like, and that's the balance of it. So it's like you can be working out too much where you're overtraining and you're doing too much, and where you can injure yourself and set yourself back, and that's where it's not working for you. Or you can be not doing any exercise. Yeah, again, I had a consult with somebody recently. She just went to the doctor, um, diagnosed pre-diabetes, and yeah, I mean that's a major, there's a balance there where making the wrong choices. So it was like they're finding that right balance. And I think that's always a juggling thing to be figuring out, because life is always going to throw curveballs. There's always going to be problems, which isn't a bad thing. It's just you just got to come up with solutions. And that's just part of this game of life that we live. Um, so it's to reduce the risk of mental health problems and promoting overall physical well-being, improve relationships, better. And again, like these things, like all these things I'm talking about can be major factors in someone's life. So it's like a lot of times, like there's a lot of work, like improve the relationships, like with whether being with a parent. So there's like those are out of our control. So we can't control what others do. We can only control what we can do. So, but coming up with better ways to communicate and better ways to function. I mean, and just coming up with better solutions, because we all have problems, and that's what this comes to, is like coming up with solutions to the problem. And it's like a lot of times like we get overwhelmed because there's so many things. And I mean, life is complex for all of us. I mean, that's the thing, like I'm always helping people kind of work through, but it's like coming up with solutions to the problems as we manage and go through them. But time management and prioritizing where to spend the time, like on what's most important. Like in my life, for example, my health it's number one. Like that's a non-negotiable. The exercise, the things that I have to do nutritionally are going to happen. I don't care what anybody else thinks, because if I can't be to my best from the choices that I make, how can I provide for my family? How can I be there for my kids? How can I lead by example? Like it can't. So I have to come first, and that's what I recommend for people as well. It's not being selfish. A lot of times, like we think these things are selfish. It's not. Like you've got to take care of your health. You got to take care of your life. And then family for me would be second. So it's like I definitely love the heck out of my family. A lot of times, like I am working a lot because I do have to provide, and I am doing a startup. So it is a significant investment in time and commitment and mental energy, things that I got to do the focus. But it's prioritizing, like, and even within that, like when it comes to stress and life and all that, like am I putting my attention on things that are not creating the result that I want? And this gets a little bit higher level, but it's like, um, or am I focusing on the things that are going to move the needle to better health, to creating better results business? And it's all applicable to healthy lifestyle, being successful in a business. It's like these are things that we must manage, and being successful is learning to manage ourselves. And a lot of times, like this work-life balance, the more control and the more we can understand that and take take responsibility for ourselves, the more control we can gain to achieve. Um, Overall well-being. All right. I forgot what I was going with that. I go off on tangent. I can talk about all these things forever, so I don't want to be here again. Like I was planning on this one taking about 45 minutes or so. So, and then let me check, keep watching the time here. So yeah, we're about 20 minutes in, so I got some time. I'll try not to take too much time, but anyway, I love it. I hope everybody's enjoying. Um, Importance of key lifestyle choices, like leisure activities. These are things like if I'm guilty of things, these are things I'm guilty of not giving to myself because I don't do a lot of these, and these do make a big difference. Like even just little moments, like on there's a day this week where I just decided, usually I'm drinking my coffee, I'm wanting to dive, I got so much work to do, I'm always trying to dive in. And like the other day, I was like, it's so beautiful out in the morning. I was just like, oh, let me just go out and have up my cup. And I didn't even drink my whole cup, but I drank some cups of coffee and just taking that moment, letting the sun hit me, and just like leisure moments like that, riding a bike, doing things that you enjoy. And again, that's where it circles back. Like I said, all these things affect the other work-life balance. Like you can get caught up too much in that, and then it's like other things are being neglected. So there's always a balance. But leisure activities helps in stress reduction, stimulates the mind and promotes cognitive function. Yeah, and that does. I mean, that's one of the things, like you take a break, little vacations like help you to rejuvenate, um, enhance mood and improve physical health, provides opportunities for social interactions and connections with others. And again, these things all intertwine. So it's like there's a lot of things I'm going to be repeating here, but it's like they're worth repeating. And then something I learned from Tony Robbins, repetition is the mother of all skill. Consistency with exercise, nutrition is the key to getting results. So it's like you just repeat, repeat, repeat. I could do a whole presentation on that one too. Um, so body. So remember, physical health encompasses more than just fitness. Prioritize holistic well-being through nutrition, sleep, and overall self-care. Um, yeah, and nutrition is a major factor as well. There, I can't remember if I put that one in here. I think it was next. Yeah. But nutrition's a major factor with the overall well-being, health, and what we're working on, like create like a healthy lifestyle. Like nutrition's a major factor. The food industry is manipulating, in my opinion. They are confusing us to where we don't know what to do. We're eating things we don't know what we're putting in our bodies, and it's like nutrition's a major factor as well. I will have some trainings on that as well. But sorry, hang on, make sure I got my point here. But yeah, taking care of the body, your body is your temple. So it's like you want to make sure you are taking care of that, like with like exercise, nutrition, mental well-being. Because a lot of times, like, and I'll tell you a quick story here. I think it's important. There was a when I very first started, I was working at a weight loss spa. I was a high-end spa. I was like 5,500 a week. People would come crazy. Like I couldn't even understand where people came up with this type of money, but it was everything was included. We controlled everything. Um, there was a woman who came in. She worked in a forensic department for a police department, and she had so much, like she told me some of the stories. I don't even know how like anybody could even survive doing that type of job. So kudos if anybody listening does anything like that, because I mean you've got to have some good mental wherewithal. But anyway, she came in. She was she was so like tight wound up, back rounded. Her face was just all, and I just thought it was the way that she looked, but her face was like all hard and like just hard, and it almost looked clumped up. And it was an amazing story, but she was only coming for a week. And then she got so much out of her first week of just focusing on the physical. She ended up staying, I mean, 4, 5, 6 weeks. I mean, she had to pull from her for something ridiculous, but it was a good thing that she did invest for in herself in this type of way as well. But um, over the process of her going, she realized like she had to quit her job, which was a major factor because I didn't realize like as going, this is when I was still new and still learning. But the amazing part was like her transformation. and then her physical transformation, but her mental transformation. Physically, shoulders started to come back, her neck and big hump on her back started to go down, which I mean, I've helped lots of people with that over the years. But there's clumps on her face, like, and that's where I realized, like, and I started to learn, like, wow, what stress, like, she was like, so whatever it was, I still don't know to this day, but it was like her face released and a lot, she looked like a completely different person by the time she was done with the program. And it was amazing. So it's like, but it's the effects of stress and those type of things. I mean, they just can be detrimental. So it's like making important choices as far as life is concerned there. Um, I'm having fun. I hope everybody's enjoying this. I love doing these. Um, the importance of nutrition. Sorry, I got my picture in the way here. I'm not sure if something else is okay. Important hydration and rest. So physical, so optimal body function, disease prevention, long-term vitality, hydration, maintaining. Hydration's another one. So it's like there's 4 points that I always am focusing on with. It's going to be exercise, nutrition, hydration, and sleep. Like if there's four important factors, I don't know that I put that, and I've created this thing a while back, and I'm kind of forget. It's a whole bunch of slides, but it's like those are the four most important things in my opinion. So if you focus on those, you're definitely going to be building a foundational health with those 4 points, 4 pointers there. But hydration is a major, it's another low hanging fruit, one of the things you can control. So maintaining bodily function, regulating temperature, flushing out the toxins. Um, so, but yeah, it is very important to make sure we are staying hydrated, drinking enough water, not other things, not sodas, cokes, those type of things. And like, and I don't include coffee in water. So yeah, it is liquid. Yeah, there's water in it. I'm sure there's someone that would say that. I've heard it all. Don't worry. But yes, it is very important to stay hydrated. Your body functions better. Your body's going to perform better. Your mind, like it's just super important. Um, Rest, again, we talked about support optimal cognitive function, mood regulation, overall well-being. Um, Flexibility and mobility. Um, Resistance training, yes, building muscle, very important. We've already talked about that. But flexibility, which is going to help with mobility, very important as well. It's is enhancing performance, preventing injuries, maintaining overall physical health. Your body's ability to move, I mean, that's a big part of health. So, because what happens is we age, we get tighter, our muscles get tighter. A fountain of youth is all these things that I'm talking about. Like if you want to maintain your youth, um, start with the exercise. And again, these are my opinion, but it's like that's where getting your body strong, flexible, nutritious, providing nutrition that's going to support it. But your flexibility, giving your body the ability to move the way it's supposed to, because as muscles get tight, the joints get tight, we don't start moving. Somebody who's getting older, like aging wise, a lot of times trips and broken hips and those type of things. If we maintain flexibility, because what happens is people start getting tight, so they end up dragging their feet, and then you end up falling because you're getting weaker. Where if you maintain flexibility, your body's able to be mobile, be able to move better. Um, it just overall is going to help from a health standpoint if you're older. Now, even from a performance standpoint, like if you're an athlete, I mean, flexibility in every sport is a major factor. So maintaining flexibility so the body can perform at its highest level. And performance is, I mean, it go like I don't work with athletes, but I mean, I know like even as a cyclist, like to perform there at the highest level. I used to race cycling. It's like maintaining the flexibility. And like overall, I'm 40, not 48, I just turned 48. 48 years old. It's like my body functions very well, and I credit it. I mean, I've had my fair share of injuries from bike crashes and those sort of things. I recently had one, got a wrist injury now, but I've maintained a great level of mobility in the way that I still get out. I got a 7 to 5, and a 2-year-old, 2.5 now. And I'm out running around with those guys all the time. So, and I was like, I want to maintain levels of a 20-year-old. I don't feel like I have the levels of a 20-year-old, but I try. But anyway, flexibility, very important. benefits of exercise, mobility, and hang on, benefits of flexibility and mobility exercises. So improve range of motion. Again, like improving the range of motion just allows your body to function better, reduces muscle tension. And this is one of the things, like if you are doing resistance training with proper form and moving in the proper way, like your body becomes more balanced. So they're almost, and I can generalize here, I think most people when they come in, their traps are so tight. A lot of times they're rounded forward. The trap's all muscle, the anterior is overdeveloped, you're rounded forward. If you want to change that, you need to build all the muscles around it, stay out of the muscles so they start to atrophy. As you build the other muscles, you get more balance. But like you take all that tension out. That's where we hold our stress. Pay attention to that. Shoulders down, shoulders back, head back. Focus on that while you're sitting. And I caught myself there. I was rounded too. So shoulders down, shoulders back. So you guys can call me out on that if you see me starting to hunch again, because I can do that as well. But when you exercise, like doing that, I mean that's a major factor. So if there's anything you take away from this, take away that, because I mean that will take some tension away as well. Um, and just enhance posture. So sitting up nice and tall. Prevent injuries. That's a big one too, like preventing injuries and staying injury free. Because a lot of times, like the body, we end up getting injuries because our body gets weak in other areas because we're getting tight in other, like one area gets tight. So the other area is a little extra loose. So it's like it just that imbalance can create injuries. And I mean, there's lots of things that can cause injuries. Support of overall physical function. Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing with the mobility. I think I hit on that enough. Mindset. Mindset plays a crucial role in health, influencing behaviors, attitudes, and overcoming in various ways. You want to improve mindset? Exercise. Exercise, exercise, exercise. But um, learning to develop a growth mindset to where we're learning new things, because learning, I mean, in life, I mean, think about it, like watching TV and those type of things, like we're going into other people's stories, like we're creating our own story. um, and then building up a strong mindset, a positive mindset. And positive is kind of like one of those hit or miss things. Like some days you're going to feel good, some days you're going to feel bad, but how can you get yourself out of the bad days? Why? And it's like even like with my kids, I just see sometimes like one of them wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, they're a little grumpy. So I mean, those type of things happen, but we do have the choice, and there are strategies and tools and things that you can do. And there's plenty of self-help books, and they're great to help develop that ability to have a strong positive mindset. Like you can develop it. I know I'm an example. Like I definitely would have geared more towards being pessimistic and not realizing the potential that I have, that I know you have. I know everybody has it, because like if I did it, anybody can do it. So, um, but like creating new behaviors, new habits, like creating a new attitude, we can create this. We're not stuck. Like those are limitations that we're putting on ourselves. But there's lots of opportunities that change all these things. Um, Impact of attitude, resilience, and mindset on overall well-being. Approach challenges with optimism, like, and that's a big one. Like that, we're always going to have problems. Like this is something I mean, I've done lots of self-help courses. I've done lots of Tony Robbins. I've done lots of coaching. Um, like there's always going to be problems. This is something I learned from Tony Robbins. And like once you come up with a solution, like life is always going to get them. Like you're not going to ever not find problems. Like there's always going to be problems in one way or another. And generally, like as we grow and we get better, like or get older, we can even use that as an example. There's going to be new problems that arise because we like life is always changing. Things are always changing. We're not going to be able to stay the same. Like we want to get stuck in this comfort zone, but unfortunately, it doesn't work. So it's like we have to grow and develop. If not, you stay stuck, and then what happens? You're most likely frustrated and miserable because you're not taking actions. Um, but learning to come up with knowing that there's always solutions to problems. When somebody's looking to lose weight, develop a healthy lifestyle, start getting into exercise, there is no failure, not in my program, because there's only learning. There's only failure if you quit and give up. But there's like you learn from it. Like when I ran into the situation this week, it's like, oh, I'm like, how could I be so ignorant of like knowing price wise? And I still don't know. I haven't even, I'm not even, doesn't matter. Like but I had to pivot, make some choices, come up with solutions. Now I've got other problems. Now I've got other problems that I have to solve because I had to make a change from the direction that I'm going. So, and that happens in every facet all the time, no matter what. So coming up with like realizing, sorry, my throat is getting dry. Give me a sec. Drink your agua. Drink your water. Okay. But anyway, I forgot what I was saying. My ADD jumped in there. Coming up with, and I was hunching again. You guys didn't call me out. Um, but like coming up, like knowing that there is no negative unless we decide that there's negative. Like, because if you're always learning from it, it changes you. And this is one of my big things is where I learned like everything that I used to think was negative. Like even now, like with this big challenge I run into now, I already know like I believe everything does happen for a reason. I believe that there's always lessons. I can't lose. Like I never lose. And there is no such thing as losing. It's like life is developing, growing. Somebody asked Kobe, I had to put the quote down because I thought it was so awesome. They were talking to Kobe Bryant, and I'm pulling it up on my phone here because I put the quote down, but they were asking Kobe Bryant, like, how do you feel like you play, and they like comparing themselves to other people because that can be another problem, like something to work on for healthy as well. But he said it was never about beating anybody, it was just about playing to the best of his abilities. And that's the thing, like if we go in every day just doing the best that we can do. I used to have a client who was uber successful, and that was something that he would say all the time. And I loved it. It was like, I'm doing the best that I can, Chris. And it was like that was probably his way of reinforcing with him because a lot of times like there's certain things we're trying to focus on and not necessarily executing, but he would say, I'm doing the best that I can. And then meaning like in his mind, he's like he is doing the best he can, which was legit. But he's improving, and that as long as you stay consistent and you keep doing the best that you can, you're going to improve. You're going to get better. That's just one of the rules of life. Um, view view setbacks as temporary and surmountable. So yeah, I mean, there's always solutions, and it's life is not one dimensional. There's multi different ways to achieve results. Like, and that's trying to navigate for your own life of how to get them and how to be healthy in this case. Like, there's lots of different ways. There isn't a one size fits all program. So there's lots of different ways, and you have to figure out you better equipped to navigate life's ups and downs. Um, so yeah, I mean that's overall just building that mindset. It's always, and I don't know that the mindset thing ever goes away. I feel like it's something that it's a depth that we just like we're an onion. Like, and I'll use my kids as an example because they're like perfect, and now they're building their own layers of things that they'll probably have to work on later in life. Um, but it's unlayering the onion too. So the mindset thing, and there's deeper ways, deeper that we can keep going to keep improving and getting healthier and better and just more optimistic. Strategies for cultivating a mindset and managing stress. Being grateful. Grateful is a big one. This one is one that I could do multiple presentations, but just if you've never sat down and thought of the things you're grateful, pull out a piece of paper. Do this on it's a lot harder to do it if you're not in a good mindset, but do something that makes you feel good. Go out and go for a walk and then come back, pull out a piece of paper and write down 10, 20 things that you're great. Write down 20 things. And usually by the 20th thing, but watch the way it makes you feel, like it uplifts you. This one's a big one, but learning to be grateful and develop that into a mindset super powerful. I still work on that day. Mindfulness, meditation, those are powerful because you got to be aware of the ways that we think, and a lot of times being mindful. Like a lot of times we don't know what we don't know. Like there's thinking, we do have a subconscious mind that's thinking in the background. Learning to be mindful, meditation helps with that. Super powerful. Um, so building a support network, like being around positive people, like stay away from negative people or learn how to communicate with them where they don't affect you. Like a lot of times I just cut out. Like I don't have time. I don't like things affecting my energy, so I won't be around people that negatively affect me. Could I come up with ways? I probably, but it's like, I mean, yeah, just but build a support network, like build up people that uplift you and bring you up and make you feel good and help you to be better and grow and feel just have energy. Um, Engage in self-care, like taking care of yourself, the bike ride, whatever it is, bike rides for me. I won't put my things on you, but things that make you feel, getting your nails done. I know I've never done that, but I know even some men do that, but women getting massages, taking that moment to yourself, and just like exercise is self-care too. It just doesn't feel like it, but it is, trust me. Set realistic goals. Like goals can be a tough one because a lot of times like we feel like we fail if we don't reach them. But again, like everything's a learning lesson. So it's important to learning your risk tolerance to setting goals. Because a lot of times like we set goals, we don't know how to achieve them. They're always achievable. It's like we just don't know how, or we don't have the skill set yet of being able to achieve them. So but learning to set, because learning, actually sitting thinking about it now, setting realistic goals, especially if you've never really sat down and set them, it's like you don't know. So it's like you got to set that first one first, and then it's like you'll learn from that, and then that's how you learn how to set realistic goals. But learning how to set things achievable so you win, so you feel like you're winning. And a lot of times, like if you got the determination to set a big audacious goal and you're not going to stop till you reach it, great. Most people aren't like that. Most people gotta set realistic goals. If not, we feel like we're failing. And that can be me too, like a lot of times, but I am pretty stubborn. So it's like I do go after, and I'm always working skills and developing and figuring out ways to just grow. Seek professional help. We talked about that before too. Like finding a coach, finding a mentor, finding a therapist, somebody that can help guide you through. um, Therapy has been a major part in my life and my development. I've had great moments with my therapist where I just had these big aha moments that have been life changing. So but finding professional help can be important. Relationships, the connections, social connections and relationships are fundamental aspects of human well-being. And I mean, this has been shown through science as well. Like we need that connection with others. Um, it plays a like she plays a can't say that word, crucial role in shaping mental, emotional, and physical health. Humans are inherently social well-beings, and meaningful connections will help fulfill our needs, companionships, belongings, and support. And I mean, that's the thing, like building those deep, meaningful relationships. That's my like my like I was telling you before, like my when it comes to my things, like I have to come first because if I can't be healthy, I can't support and be there for my family. My family is next. It's a deep, meaningful family relationship that there's a whole thing wound up in that of lots of time and thought that went into what that means. But I do work on that connections of trying to, and I do my best. Like I'm a parent, so I always feel like I should be doing better, but I am always doing better. I'm doing my best. So, and I'm hard on myself. So I'm just stop it there. But building that relationship with the family, because that's the most uplifting thing. And a lot of times, like we got to build that relationship with ourselves too, to feel good about ourselves, to build the relationship with family, friends, co-workers, but like developing those. Um, Contributions of healthy relationships on to mental and emotional well-being, emotional support, sense of belonging, encouragement and growth, and then conflict resolution, just learning how to like deal with conflict and not getting emotionally attached to it. So that's one of the things as well. Like when conflict happens, learning how to detach yourself from it can be important as well. Um, Tips for nurturing relationship with oneself and others: self-compassion. Don't beat yourself up too much. You caught myself there a second ago. Like I'm definitely like that parent thing, like I can be really hard on myself. That part can like little bits of time, yes, but it's like you can't constantly sit and beat yourself up because your energy's just gonna be so low and you're gonna feel so defeated all the time. But be compassionate. Doing my best. I'm doing my best. Just tell yourself that and just like do your best. Like you're the one who knows, like showing up. If you're doing a little bit, like it's great. Like you just keep trying to get a little bit. Effective communication, quality time, setting boundaries, express gratitude. Um, Checking the time here. Okay, so true health is not merely the absence of illness, but the harmony of mind, body, and spirit. So it kind of encompasses all. Um, so I was going to do question answers here, but I did not like we're trying to my assistant and I are trying to come up with formats of things. So eventually, like I will have Zoom, but if you have questions or comments, like please leave them in the comments wherever that is, wherever this is going to be posted, which right now I think it's only Facebook, so I didn't record it anywhere else. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. Um, I want to thank you for joining. I hope I added some value to your life, and yeah, I hope this was helpful in your seeking out whatever it is that you're looking to create. And I hope it gives you some different perspectives of health and just things so you can have that vibrant, healthy life. All right. All right. That is all I got. I'm going to end the meeting, I think. I'm just learning how to use this. Am I still live? I don't know. I don't know. I'll end this meeting.